Okay, hello and good day. Currently, I'm on Gamebox video screen recording. So if ever there's any issues, wala na kailangang mahimo, good luck na lang. So, of course, from the name here, this video is about methods. Ang methods is basically a block of so, methods are blocks of codes that will execute if called. Basically, maura na siya. If you want a layman's term, methods are storage for codes that will run when you call the method. Okay, so gets na nato ang function. We get the logic of what are methods, so ingana. So, very basic, how do you create methods? There are different ways. You can put public static void, blah blah blah. But Serval has discussed on how you can do it. But simply, if I do any method, I just put static void and the name of the method. Now, of course, the name of the method depends on you. But logically, if you name your method, name it by its function. So now I would like to output something using this function, and so I will name this function, or I will name this method as output. So basically, if you call this method, you know that its function is to output. But to make it easier, I'll just say output name. And just a basic SOUT, Terry Hart. So now, in order for this to function, you have to call. You have to call the method name by simply saying output name the end. You simply type the output name, and then the parenthesis and semicolon, and the end. So whatever is inside this method will execute. So if I run this, Terry Manhart. Now if you want, it will execute, diba? So now there are a lot of different ways for you to do this. I will do the other way, or the same way, pero I guess magamit siya po in the future, which is simply we create another class. And I will make this as just new class. Now, create this. You create your own, I guess if you want, you can just put whatever you want, pero I'll just make another method inside here, which is static void new, or just the same but new output. So basically, this is a method within a different class. So basically, I'll just copy paste this para mag-asabot ninyo ang logic. This method and this method is the same. No matter where that method is, it's always gonna be the same. The only difference that will exist is in calling that method. So if the method is within the main method, or the main method, you can just call it by this way. Basically, if QXC has a main method, if it's with the main method, you can call it simply straight. But let's say it's in another class. So you just simply type the class name, which is new class, period, and then the method name, output. So by default, it will function like that. I'll give you another example for you to get the better picture, which is, but this is 1, 2, and 3. So now logically, we have different methods. It's up to you kung unsa na siya. But these are different methods. Basta picture, lahi nga method, lahi nga method, lahi nga method, and lahi nga method. Simple as that. So now, again, if you call another method, it's gonna show here the different methods that you created inside the class that you also created. So that's what you call method calling. So again, just very basic. You create your own method and you call that method if it's in the same class. But let's say if it's in another different class, or it's in another class, which is kani, you just simply call it the same way but adding kung asa siya gikan, kung asa siya. So I guess if you want the logic, you call the class name, then the class or the method name. This is the class name, and this is the method name. The end. Pero of course, I'll have to give extra additions for this, kay magamit mo dyan eh. This will be used in a lot of different ways. What if I would like this to be the main method based thing. I would like to declare string name is equal to Raymond Hart and semicolon, malamang. So we have our name here. Now I would like the new class output, which is naadere, to output my name. So instead nga naka-declare siya daan, instead nga nakabutang siya sa parameters daan, I would like it to do it by itself na lang, I guess. Basta basically wala sa atong method daan ng atong pangalan. I would like it to be the main method base nga declared value or whatever. Sa tinod, I don't know what's the term here, basta basically ganahan ko nga, I guess, user base ang name. So again, instead nga katong kanina ha, which is naka-declare na daan, I would like this to be a user-based. Basically, wala siya sa method daan. So, very basic. It depends on what you want, pero just logically, kuna ko na anay value diri. Okay? So, if you want, you can put whatever you want, pero as I know, what I would like to output is my name. So I would go to my main method or to my method that I created, and I put the name, or I put the variable name, which is kana. But don't forget to put the data type. And I would like to output the value of whatever is inside the name. So you system that out at println the variable name. Now if it's like this will start to occur, ang rad. The reason for that is because your method here has a parameter. But your method here, when you call it, wala siya parameter. But if you put something, anything, it will execute. Now, there are a lot of different loopholes here. And then what if, by the way, maura to. That's all you have to know. But let's say, we settled this method to be something for string. But what if we put values or data types that are not for string? Then you're doing the methods wrong. Maybe there is another way to do it, but basically they are not compatible. It's like blood types. Blood O is not compatible with basta I don't know, basta dili siya compatible kana lang. So mao lang na. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say. So again, if you want to recap, that's okay. Pero again, I'll just redo this because this is my first time. So loopholes again, diba? So now, very basic recap na lang eh. Let's create a method. You can create a method like this. And that's how you create a method. You can also create a method in another class, which is by simply doing the same thing. Static void, name1, bang. Actually, it's okay to have this the same one. But it's not okay if you put it on the same class. Diba? Kagats mo sa logic. Kailangan na may nakakuang name daan in this class, so you're not allowed to create this method name. Kailangan naman. Like there are a lot of different topics, pero again, very basic recap na to. Recreate our method. Inside that method, I would like to output a name. Now, name is not classified, so I have to string name. Now, our name is declared, or I guess, i-identify, and atong i-output ang atong name. But the problem here is, what's the value of name? So if atong error, it will not error. So again, I'll call the method, which is method calling. Ana. This is error because we have to put a value inside. So I'll just put name. Now the reason why this is error is because name doesn't exist within the contractions or contractors of this main method. So very basic, if you want this to be user based, you can just put scanner, and then system.in, and then you simply put string names equal to that. Next line, so semicolon. So let's say if it's a user base and then ganahan sa nga method, maura na siya. Terry. Terry McCart. Maura na siya. Like, I don't know if ako pang i-end up, malamang lahi na siyang agianan. If I would like to go deeper, it's gonna be harder, it's gonna be more confusing. But right now, I'm only allowed to tell you the simple and basic shit. Or stuff na patay kong serbal. Pero again, just very basic. You create your own method. You put the parameters in case that you want it to be, I guess, dili ka tong basic na method. Pero mao lang jud, like mao ra jud. Now, when it comes to kanina lang para extra public, as Sir said, di ba, dili siya pwede. I'm not sure if naingon ni Sir, pero basically, if you call something from the main method, it has to be a static value. It has to be static. The access modifier or access identifier, I forgot the name. So in order for you to use a method inside the main method, you have to make sure that they are both compatible, like making sure they are both static. Ano ra? If you want it to have a return type, you can put a data type here. I want it to return a value of string. So now you have to put a return type, which is null. Okay, wala man tayo ipabalik, but you know, you can put whatever you want, but that's for another life. But again, basic lang ta. So, kana. Like, I don't know unsa pa may line akong istorya ani. Like, that's pretty much it. If you want, I'll do na lang a very quick calculator. Like this. I'll just make a very quick calculator, huh? Just for you to get the basics. I will delete this because I don't want it to go deeper. It's the same logic, but I'll just delete this for basic purposes. So of course, if I would like to create methods using a calculator, it's up to you. But for me, I will make a method for sum, subtraction. I'll just put sub, mult, and diff. Diff. Now, very basic, very basic. Ana. So the goal here is to SOUT the value of diff. The purpose for addition is for outputting the sum. The purpose for subtraction is outputting the difference and the product. Now these are all red because the value of sum, div, prod, a difference, prod, and div are not identified in the program. And so what you can do is by declaring it in advance. So now there are different ways for you to declare. For me, if you want in a future purposes, you can output or you can declare outside of any method as long as it's inside the main class or the class itself. So you can declare here it sum div prod, prod and div. Now this is okay. This is all good. But we have declared this, but this is still red. Diba? Non-static variable sum cannot blah 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 blah. So now it says that sum is I guess nakita nila. They have identified that sum exists inside this class. But they are not compatible. Dili sila pwede. So you just simply put them as static. Because basically your int sum div prod div are constructed into, I guess, dira lang siya. I don't know what other ways to explain this, pero basically int sum div prod and division are during pandemic pa. They are not allowed to go out. And so in order for you to let them go out, in order for you to let them be accessed in different houses, you have to use the word static. Basically, static is telling something that it will be accessed in different places. So now it's identified. So now you can basically do this. Int, or I guess, back to very basic. You create an instance or you create the object of a scanner. Pero, so now you have to input two numbers, diba? And 1, 1. I know. Num1 is equal to scan dot next int, and then num2. Oops. Num2. So now, by default, it's up to you. If you want, anaonin mo siya, scan sum is equal to num1 plus num2. Ding, minus multiplication and division. This should be for diff. This should be for mult. And this should be, that's for prod. So, prod. Sorry, correction. And you should be co. So now this is very basic. So if you just call the method sum sub prod and co. Oh, I know it's mult pala. Sorry, mult and diff. So if we do it this way, blah blah blah, 1 and 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 divided by 2 is 0. Well, basically, dili sila pwede. But division has a lot of different factors. But maura na siya. Like, I have to make this longer, but that's pretty much it. The video is 16 minutes long. But again, this is a very basic way of explaining methods. Now, if naglibog pa jud mo, if nasulan pa jud mo, again, going back to the very basics, you create your own method. The name of that method is up to you. Just make sure that the name of that method is used to identify the function of that method. Now, the name I would like is to output name. You can output name by this way, array heart, or if you want, you can output based on the user's input. So I'll just kunohay scanner scan new scanner. System in. I would like this to output whatever the user's input, which is string username username Scott dot next line semicolon. Now SOUT the username. This will error because of course the username inside this method cannot be found. So you put it sa parameters. So super basic username, which is string. Charan, very dali. In order for that method to function, is again you call him or her or it. So output name, bang, and then the variable name or the username. Basically, whatever is inside here. Whatever is the name, you put it here. San Goku. Charan. What if you just space? Well, I don't know what else to say. Mau na ni siya. Like all goods na ni. Like very basic. So if you have questions, comment or i-chat na lang ko or message me. Pero mao lang. That's all for today. Thank you. Goodbye.